It's Tony Ross. We are joined by 21 Pilots. Tyler, Josh. Hello, guys.
Hello.
You shouldn't have given us swivel chairs.
Yeah, we're going to be doing this
I
the
was
whole
worried.
time.
That's why I crossed my legs, so I don't swivel. As long as you stay in like the camera angle, you're good.
They're just like really juiced up too. They just keep going.
Yeah,
We brought
I've
these
let
chairs
go.
in just for this interview. Just wow. Okay, so I'll start the interview off here. Let's talk about Trench. Going into this album, was there a goal or a vision of how you wanted it to sound, how you wanted it to come together?
Yeah, sorry. This is gonna be tough. If you want to, I'll hold on to him. You hold on.
Yeah.
We'll just make sure this doesn't happen.
I'll hold on to the table.
Yeah.
There we go. This is weird. Okay, so Trench, going into it.
Yeah, no, we just knew we wanted to keep it really in-house, and we had a lot of resources that we could have tapped into as far as different studios and different producers and songwriters, and we knew now more than ever it was important for us to just keep it all close. So that's what we did, and it was a bit scarier because there aren't more influences, I guess, in a way, protecting it from sucking, and we were kind of just exposed there. But we're proud of what came out. So
Now you talk about like keeping it like close and at home. Like you actually put a studio in your house. Was it for this record?
yeah, no, I mean I want to keep using it. Maybe write more records in it, but
And tear it all down.
pretty much it was for this record. I think my next addition is to put a bathroom down there because I had to go upstairs every time I go to the bathroom and just like threw off my vibe.
You didn't think about that when you like did a full reno?
Yeah, I just figured I'd just keep using the water bottles like I always do.
Okay.
But what's tough is when you have to go to the bathroom and you're like, I don't have an empty water bottle. You get a water bottle and you drink it to have an empty water bottle.
And then it just
But then
keep
you just drank a water bottle.
And now you really have to
And
go.
it's just this endless cycle of.
I'm a woman, so it's a little different for us. I don't think we have that option. We're not going to go there. We'll keep
You could
this.
step up to the challenge.
I believe.
Yeah?
I believe
Yeah.
in you.
So in one of your Bandito videos, we saw you guys hold Trench in your hands for the first time. So your work has right there in front of you, in your hands. What were you feeling in that moment?
Well, that was the actual first time that we held them. I feel like maybe sometimes people act like it is. But I remember that moment where we're just like, whoa, there's some physical copies of that work that we worked on. And it is a really weird feeling, and excited and proud, but also it is scary too.
Yeah, I think that for me, there's so many moments while making the record that sucked. I was like, you know what? At some point, whether I, am frustrated today or not, time is going to move forward, and inevitably there will be a moment where I'm holding it. I kept on just convincing myself I'll be holding it one day. So it was a way to make sure I didn't get too caught up in being frustrated or trying to wrestle with a certain mix or a certain song or programming or producing all of the different steps that go into making the record. And I think that you can apply that to a lot in your life. And I remember thinking that in school a lot too when I had a project. It's like, okay, let me just put my head down, let me grind, and eventually someday I will turn it in. And it'll, like, that day will come, and then you kind of have to just, I don't know, keep yourself positive in that way. So when I did finally hold the CD in my hand, I was like, I remember talking to myself about this.
Now, did you get a little teary-eyed? Because I felt in that video there was a lot of emotion.
I haven't cried since second grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you bragging about that, or should we dive a little deeper into
I'm
it?
absolutely bragging about it.
Okay. I'm a crier, so I'm...
Really?
Yeah. I'm in touch with my... Oh.
Jeez.
As
Grow
you guys
up.
both swivel away. All right, next question. Chlorine is on our on our chart today.
I'm not touching anything. Look at
Yeah.
this.
Goodbye. Hello.
WD-40.
It works.
You guys have some crazy WD-40 in Canada.
Yeah.
You know what WD-40 is?
Yeah.
Do you have WD-40 in Canada?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
It works here.
What do you think of when I say WD-40?
What do I think of?
It's
like a-
Just like the can of.
Right, but what did you use it for as a kid?
As a kid?
Yeah, you didn't use it?
No, I did. I mean, I used it for...
Skateboard, you didn't?
Yeah,
On
skateboard,
your
for sure.
trucks?
Yeah.
Your bindings? and-
Even though I think you're not supposed to use WD-40.
Oh, really? That's probably why
but-
mine rusted out.
Yeah. But I did, though. I still use it.
We're not paid to talk about this.
I don't know. I feel like there's a little sponsorship
Nope.
as you.
We only talk about products we believe in.
Yeah, yeah. That is
And
true.
that's one. WD-40. Brought
Could
to you
make,
by.
that could make me cry.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Chlorine.
Yeah.
What is there a story behind the song? A little bit about it that you want to share?
Sure. It's hard to write music about music because it's almost never cool. You don't want to write a song about songs. And so I knew that and realized that, and so I wanted to challenge myself and write a song about my relationship with music, and even bigger than that, my relationship with what I love or what I used to love, and maybe have a little bit more of a complicated relationship with now, which is music, and what I'm passionate about. And I think that everyone gets to a point in their journey that thing that fuels them, that drives them, can ultimately kind of become something negative in your life, and but to not let that discourage you to the point where it makes it wrong. Like, to go through seasons of ups and downs with your relationship with what it is you're passionate about is normal, and so that's kind of what I was working through in that song.
It's a great song. I love the video for it.
Thank you.
The little guy's really cute.
Ned.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have a name?
Ned.
Nice.
He
I
couldn't
like-
make it today.
Unfortunately. Does he appear in the show at all, or?
Yeah, he shows up.
Okay, cool.
One song.
One song.
It's the only one he learned.
Okay, I do want to talk about the tour.
No.
Okay, so it is an intense production based on what we've seen in the videos that you've shared on social media and stuff like that. Haven't seen the show yet. Going to tonight. What is the hardest part about putting that kind of production together for you guys?
It's the hardest part. I think our hardest parts are probably different every night. It's from each other, I mean. For me, we have a moment where we go into the crowd and do what we call B stage, which is like a second stage that's closer to people and in the middle of the room rather than near the main stage. And it's just things you don't think about when you come up with ideas. But if you think about, it takes time for sound to travel. And by the time I sing into the microphone, it has to go into the microphone, through the air, hitting a receiver, back to main stage, hitting all of our monitor desks, and all that process through main stage, and then back out to front of house, where the front of house desk is, where you see all the big speakers come out, and then it goes back to main stage, and back out of there. All that to say that by the time I sing, and by the time it comes out of the speakers, there's a delay. I mean, it's boom, boom. So it's almost impossible to sing with that sort of delay using your own ears as a reference. And that's why you have to wear in-ears.
Okay.
That's why you wear these things that tell you what it is that you're singing right away. And for me, I like to take one of those out so that I can hear the audience, hear the crowd, feel like I'm connecting and understanding whether or not they are enjoying or, at least comprehending what we're trying to communicate, and I can't do that in that moment. So B stage is kind of the moment where I really have to focus, because I can hear a semi-delayed version of all the drums, of all the vocals in the background, and I have to focus on what's in my ears or I'll get messed up. It's probably not the answer you were looking for, but that's the hardest part.
I feel like I learned a lot in that.
We've learned a lot, I think, and when we first implemented that was one of the craziest things. And the drums were terrible too, because they're louder. So if you hit like a snare drum or a cymbal or something, you can hear it acoustically like 50 feet back. But when there is the delay, then you hear it live, and then you hear it coming from the speaker, and it sounds really bad. Unless you're really, really far away and you can't hear the drums at its source. So he had to learn how to adjust kind of how to sing and how to have his things in, and then I had to figure out a whole technical solution to not have it sound like that. So what we did is we got mesh drum heads, and we actually, when I hit that, so you can't hear the drums, and those are all electronic sounds that are like triggered through a little module that has sounds in there. So when I hit it, it triggers those sounds. So that these are just all things that, that we've had to learn. And as you implement things, then you realize like, okay, well, this is something that I have to figure out. And at the beginning of this album cycle, we implemented risers that lift up and down, and I fell off of one.
Saw that.
so you have to, there's always something to navigate. And it can be tough.
Now this is also, like, again, based on videos, very physically demanding for you guys. Do you like train and like work out hardcore, practice your jumps before you go on tour, or is this just like in your blood?
He was born with a natural ability to be athletic and fine. So I think I do more training than he does, because he's fine, but I need it.
So you don't do anything?
I will probably eventually need to start doing stuff when I get fat and old, and it's coming. It's happening slowly.
Inevitable for most of us. It's all right.
Oh, thanks, man. You look good too.
Well, it's because I'm working now on it.
Yeah.
I wanted to quickly chat about your fans. You guys have probably one of the most loyal fan bases. You've built a community through your music and people that have met through concerts and just on social media. How does it feel to know that you've like brought so many strangers and made them friends?
It's the best part of our show. It doesn't matter how hard we work or what kind of production we bring in. It's everyone else in the room that makes the show special. And I think that, I don't know, maybe some people tend to look at us as the source of all of it, but it's just, that's not how we see it. And it seems cliche to be like, oh, it's all about the fans, but really I think that we have a clear perspective of where that energy and excitement and true brilliance comes from, and it's them. It's the room of people wanting to be a part of that show, and so that's why it's really fun to play every night.
Now, was there ever a moment for you guys when you knew, like, this is happening for us? Like, I think we've made it. Like, we're going to win awards and we're going to be selling out stadiums. Like, going back to the beginning, did you just ever get that feeling? Like,
I think the moment that we met,
you just saw it in each other's eyes?
we realized.
It's hard to talk. It's hard because we don't know if people believe us, but we really did think, like,
you guys are soulmates.
It was meant to be, man.
Well, I don't know if awards were ever really on our radar, because we didn't. I mean, being from Ohio, that wasn't something that was a motivator for us. But I do think that because what we love is playing shows live, we envisioned huge shows, even early on, and I think that was something that we've believed in this thing, I think, since the beginning.
So cute. You should really swivel towards each other right now. Or away from each other.
Away from you.
All right. Well, I know we have to wrap things up, but guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. It was a lot of fun to chat. I had a bunch of other questions.
Well, I'll tell you what. If your next questions are good ones, we'll answer them.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to think. What's something they probably haven't been asked? No one cares where the band name came from.
Yeah.
No one cares how we met.
Car radio video. Did you actually shave your head just for that video, or were you filming it?
I did.
Really?
Yep.
And were you going to anyway, or you thought this was going to be a cool video?
No, I was not going to anyway. That was
Did you like it? Did you ever have that moment of like?
I had a moment of like, oh
like
man, I don't know why I did that, but
it looked good.
Well, thank you. That was a good question.
Yeah, that was a good question.
It was
what's something else? You're one for one. But see, you don't have to make it about our song or what, like, we're just two dudes. What's something you're curious about that you've never heard another band talk about?
What was the best interview you've ever done?
This is getting there.
This is really?
Well, this is
that
one
is
of the
a
first
good
time
question.
where we've, like, opened up, like, because usually we just go in and we answer, like, the
typical.
Yeah.
What's Chlorine about?
Okay, well, we have to because we're playing it.
That's right. Thank you for playing it. Playing it?
Thank you.
So out of all of the SNL characters and skits out there,
Okay.
you've probably been asked this because you performed on SNL.
No, we've not been asked this.
This is
That's
new.
Our
Okay.
favorite
Like
character.
Yeah, either actor or a skit.
I mean,
or
Will
a
Ferrell's "Get Off the Shed" is always one of my favorites.
That's a classic.
I think specifically his audition tape, though. He does a "Get Off the Shed" during his SNL auditions. If you
Okay.
look that up on YouTube.
Would you like to recreate it
That
for us
might have
right
been
now?
shot on an iPad as well. I'm not sure.
Did they
but
have iPad?
I don't
Doubtful.
know. But look up Will Ferrell's audition for SNL, and what's so great about it is that he's funny, but there's no crowd. He's just doing it for a few producers, and no one's laughing, but
Yeah.
you are, because
But you were.
That's right.
That's how
You
funny
were
he is.
That's a good one.
Okay, there we go. Okay, and final question. On a scale of like 1 to 10, how would you rate this interview?
I think that at first it was like a 3,
Shit.
but then,
So I swivel away myself.
well, I was gonna say, once we started swiveling, that bumped it up to like a 4, 4.5.
It was the WD-40. Shout out.
I think the lighting in here is garbage.
I don't pick the venue.
Well,
You
for all
can't-
we know, this
you
is your
can't-
own house, so you pick the
It's,
spot.
and it
to-
still has to do with the interview, so
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
that's part of our experience.
Yours.
I think
The-
that
the
the air
air
conditioning, I mean, it's garbage.
Yeah, it's so loud.
Who knows what this audio is going to sound like?
Yeah.
That's why we have.
I mean,
we have
sound
the
guy
mic.
over here, he barely even checked our mics before. This might even.
Not even be recorded.
you guys
Well,
even
he's
hear
talking
me?
right now.
Can you hear me right now? Are you even going to use this audio, or are you using the iPad audio?
Yeah, that's.
Okay, well.
Is this going to be really distorted then, probably?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll still use it.
That's alright. I'll start with my shirt here. So I started with a 3. I got bumped up a little bit.
Well, now that they've been in my mouth.
You don't even want to know who's.
You're probably like a. I'd say it's 7.5, 8 right now.
Really? That
It's
means
fun.
a lot.
It's real. It's like
You guys-
actually having conversations.
Yeah, because you guys are like one of my favorite bands.
I would have given you like a 9 if you hadn't asked me about Chlorine. My mic's hanging down here, so we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you once again. We've got Tyler and Josh from 21 Pilots joining the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.